Hello there. First of all, I need to say that this is actually the first time I am doing a video like this. I have never done it before, and hopefully this video is helpful for all those special parents that have any child, son, daughter with autism, which in my case, my son has severe autism. And this time, this video is to try to help all those parents that when they travel, how to deal with this. So I am not sure if this is going to work. I'm telling you ahead of this, guys, but let's see how it goes. I'm just going to share some things that I have done before, so let's see how it works, okay? Okay, so first step, you have to plan, right? So you have to keep telling your son, your daughter, every day ahead of time, ahead of this travel, that you're going to get into this travel, and this is a huge transition, right? It's a huge change of activity. They are normally all the time at home, into the nest. So you have to take this very, very serious, right? Because this is a huge change, as I mentioned, right? It is very important that you keep repeating to them every day. You don't want to get them tired of you, right? You're repeating like every minute, but at least once, twice a day, tell them we are traveling. This is coming up, right? Because that helps them to mentalize themselves that there is something going on. So to do that, we are going to help them with some schedule here. Okay, here is the schedule I have prepared a while ago, right? So this is a month ahead the schedule. So we are traveling, so the target is right here, right? And you can see almost 3 weeks or almost a month ago, we started this thing, telling my son to come every day, marking. All these are magnets, right? So he was coming every day and putting every one of these check marks in every day. And then again, we keep repeating to him the target, which is the travel. And and you can help with pictures like where you're going from, who to where, whatever, right? So in the end, we are gonna go to the beach right here, but this is very helpful for them so they understand where they are at, and they actually follow the target and the mark, right? So you have to do things like this, so that helps them a lot to mentalize, because this is a huge transition, like I said, and it's working very well so far. So just one last thing I forgot to mention in my previous video is that this is so important activity, the schedule ahead of time, right? So they mentalize themselves that this activity is coming up. Even when you think that he doesn't pay attention, you think that he doesn't care or she doesn't care, that's what we see, but they do see it and they do care. It's just the way they see it, okay? So just don't forget the plan ahead of time and mentalize themselves earlier on the game, because this is gonna help a lot. Hey, okay, so here we are into the one day before the big one, right? Tomorrow is the big day for my son and I. So a lot of things to prepare tonight. So just wanted to share that, for example, today in the morning, I took a couple of videos of him quickly at breakfast, just reminding him one more time that tomorrow is the day. So I'm gonna share these videos right after this one. So you see how he's already prepared and mentalized. So to get there takes time for a child with autism, but I feel like we are in a very good position. Everything is going well on track. So hopefully, everything goes positive, right? Okay. You want to go to Mexico, right? You like it? You want to go to Mexico?
No, no.
Okay. Hey, we are going to Mexico. You like Mexico? We are flying tomorrow, right? You want to go to Mexico?
No.
No? Wow. Really? You are smiling though. You're lying. You like it, don't you? Give me 5 for that. There you go. Okay. Here we go. Mark your day. Hey, look. Tomorrow, we are going to?
Airplane.
We are going to? Mexico, yeah. Oh
I'm
man, you are
scared.
very smart. Hey,
I'm scared.
you are kidding? But we are going to Mexico. Great job. Okay, so it is time to talk about packing. So there's a lot of things to talk to, right? So when you pack with a kid with autism, it's many things that you need to consider, right? So more than you could imagine. But so I'm going to start talking about some essentials that I need you to see, right? So first of all, I think you guys will understand. So parents with special needs kids, they understand that headphones, earbuds, or whatever, it's essential for them to travel. Right? So they need to be listening to any kind of music to avoid and reject the exterior, which is a lot of noise out there, specifically when we are going to the airport. So in this case, I'm taking 2 audio headphones, but I'm also taking 1 set of the earbuds, which is, these are actually industrial ones. They isolate the noise very, very well. So my son tomorrow, he will be wearing one of these, and I will be doing it as well, just to kind of show empathy with him, to see like, hey, see how me and you are doing the same thing, right? But I really recommend you this. I know probably many of you know, but this is very helpful because isolates all the noise that is always bothering them, right? So they don't resist the noise, and this is gonna obviously break their stability and their patience. So we need this. So don't forget that. Even a spare one is better, right? So take as many as you could think, right? So I don't know. Every child is different. My son, he cannot survive without the iPad, right? So the tablet. So he always is getting into the iPad and playing games or whatever, trying to. But you don't want to run out of the battery, right? So I have 2 batteries here, extra batteries. So whenever he runs out of battery in his iPad, I am already prepared. Cords and everything for the charging, right? Extra ones. Again, guys, this might be an exaggeration for you, but this is needed. So the cord might be broken somewhere, whatever, and then you don't have a cable anymore. So any little tiny detail like this is gonna break entirely your trip, because he's gonna be mad, he's gonna be sad, frustrated, and then this is end of the conversation, right? So you don't wanna miss these little tiny details like this, charger, so extra charger like this, and then an extension cord. So extension power cord, many of you might think that this is crazy, what are you talking about? Well, whenever you go, when you're traveling, you know, there is these outlets are down there on the floor, even the resorts or hotels where your son wants to be on the, I mean, he wants to lay down on the bed, but the cable doesn't reach there because it's short. So, and he doesn't understand that part. He wants to lay on the bed. But if you bring this, you can always ask this from the hotels. I mean, they can do it. But if you can bring one in your luggage, it's entirely useful, right? You might not take this one on top with you on the plane, but you can send it into the luggage down, right? So just consider those options, right? So many things to talk, but we'll continue talking more. Okay, we are back. So now I'm gonna talk about the snacks. So it's such an important topic, right? Because we're gonna get into this trip. We're gonna take an airplane. We're going from US to Mexico, right? But he's gonna get hungry. He's gonna need something. He's gonna want to eat something, but it's not necessarily the food you want. So, and you are in this type of day that there is no way to negotiate here, because what you need, you just need to go through this trip. Just get it over with, right? So you have to relax down a little bit your limitations, your discipline in the food. Like you only need to eat healthy food. Yeah, it doesn't work that way though here, right? So you have to manage, you have to administrate the entire, I mean, everything, but you have to balance pretty much the food, right? For example, to start with, I mean, the day at the beginning tomorrow, which is the big day tomorrow for the travel, I'm gonna give him a very light breakfast. And then at lunch, which I'm planning to have lunch with him here before we leave, I'm gonna give him like a not that heavy lunch, really, just very light lunch too. So we are ready to travel, so he doesn't need to feel anything like a, you know, uncomfortable, or like all full or whatever, just light, right? But still, as we go, he's gonna start asking for things. Like he's gonna see, it's a lot of attractions in the airport, so he wants to see, he wants to eat. And even inside the airplane, he's gonna need something. He's gonna start getting frustrated for any reason. And you can manage the snacks as compensators to put that emotion down a little bit, right? Just be careful though. Because what you see here, all these things here, right? This is his favorite, chocolate, right? And then if you go with these things that, as I'm very sure you guys know, right? So these are lovely things for kids, even for adults, right? They're lovely kids and everything, but let me tell you, this is your biggest mistake to take the whole 3 bags with you in the trip. Because it's so much sugar, so much energy, that instead of putting your son or your daughter down a little bit to keep enlarging or to keep extending the moment until you land, it's gonna get worse because it's too much sugar. It's gonna complicate the situation. Just be careful. So instead, you prepare bags like this. So don't take with you the original ones because this is gonna be a disaster, right? So that's all you're gonna show, and then you're gonna keep them hidden in his backpack in different pockets. So don't let her see where you are taking this from, even if you take them from the same pocket, because he's gonna see the entire buffet inside, right? So no. So just take this from one pocket, and then as needed. You don't need to show all the options. Just if the moment is getting complicated in the seat on the plane, just offer him just one. Hey, do you want this? And then he's gonna take it, right? And he's gonna eat it. So he doesn't know that there is more or not. But if you show the entire source, that's the biggest, because he knows or she knows, right? So he knows that this is gonna be a lot of food, a lot of sugar, and he wants it. He doesn't understand any negotiation. He doesn't understand the rule. Oh, don't eat too much. It's really bad for you. They don't care, guys. I mean, parents with special needs in-house, you know what I'm talking, right? So this is a suggestion. Just take small portion. Don't show them the portion. If you need, take another set with you, just hidden in your backpack, whatever, a part of his backpack, right? But don't take the source. Things that you can give the whole thing is like this, right? So this is a small, the goldfish. This is just carbs, no issue. This thing, really, that's okay. He can have it. This is not gonna really get him so mad or complicate things, right? So some things again to consider. But sugar is important. You can control it. It actually makes them happy when you give them a candy, but not too much, because this is gonna complicate. You are inside in a plane. There is no way to go out. There is no way to go move, change environment. You are in this plane for 2.5 hours. You need to manage the situation, right? So take that. So let's talk about emergency change. So the emergency change. So during this travel, as many of you know, kids with special needs may have accidents, right? So you have to be ready with a set of, an entire change clothes, right? So the change of clothes, an entire set, like, the pants, the t-shirt, the underwear, the socks. So you have to be prepared. So you don't want to miss that and you have to take it into your backpack. So in your carry-on, right? So you don't want to put it into your luggage, because you have a lot of luggage but you checked in, right? So you check that in, and you are not gonna have accessibility to this. So as you are in the waiting area before boarding the plane or whatever, so you need to have this. Even inside the plane, during the flight, there might be an accident. So you have to be ready. So prepare this change, put it in a bag though, because the bag is really, imagine there is this accident in the middle of the flight and you have to run to the restroom, how tiny and small the restroom is. And you don't have space to bring the entire backpack, so just pull that plastic bag out of your backpack, and then drops a set of Kleenex. So if your son or daughter have an accident, so just take this bag out of the backpack and go with him to the restroom and take care of it, right? So just something to consider. So that's gonna go into his backpack. So the other change that you need to, well, not change, but the other consideration that you need to have very clear is medication. So medication, I'm not an expert, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not gonna tell you what my son is taking, but you guys, parents with kids with the special needs, you know that they are under medication all the time, or at least the majority of them, right? My son is in daily and night medication and everything. But a part of that, I'm taking medication like the regular, like the, any allergies for this, if they feel dizzy, or any other type, like just Advil or Tylenol, whatever, something that you might need during the flight. So you want to talk obviously to your doctor to see what they recommend according to your kid's case. But there are cases where they can actually help you to give you medication to take him down a little bit more, to relax him more during the flight. We've been doing this before in the past, but this time I'm gonna try without medication, because I noticed in the last one that even with the extra medication that the doctor gave us, really didn't help that much. But again, person to person, this thing changes, right? So don't take it from me. Talk to your doctor to see if there is a specific medication for that one event that you want to just put an extra medication on your child to keep him a little bit down during the flight. Sometimes helps, sometimes it doesn't. So it's been helping for us before. We tried already one or twice without this specific or extra medication, but just don't forget your medication. But what I do want to tell you and recommend you is, this is medication for 45, almost 2 months that he's gonna stay in Mexico, right? Don't put this medication into your checked-in luggage, right? So, because if for any reason you lost that luggage, and they tell you, you know how long, whoever has been, I mean, you know what I'm talking here, right? So when they lose your luggage, it takes days, sometimes even weeks to get you back, right? So you don't want to lose this. Even when it's going to be recovered the next day or the next 2 days, you're going to have your son without medication. So you don't want that, because this, again, you're destroying the entire stability again if he's in control with this specific medication. And even if you think, hey, I'm going to take just a little medication just for the flight, I know when we land, the rest of it is in my luggage. But if the luggage gets lost, you want to treat this like this is gold for you, right? So you are not sending this under the plane. You are sending this with you. Actually, I'm going to keep this in my backpack, not even in his. This is going into my backpack. So consider that, okay? So my last advice on this part of the packaging or the packing here is the mask, right? So today's environment, as we know, the new normality, right? Everybody needs to wear a mask, even here in US when it's kind of, everybody's relaxing down in the use of the mask because everybody is double vaccinated. Me and my son are also double vaccinated, but the rules in the airports and everything, they are staying with the same, right? So mask is an obligation. We need to wear a mask. He knows how to wear a mask. Thanks to, I mean, we've been doing a lot of trials, but also the school where he is going at the high school helps a lot. So thanks a lot for the school, which is Coppell High School, Texas, and Mr. Bill, his teacher, he's awesome. So he's been, I mean, Bruno, he knows and is aware of what is going on with the pandemic situation. He doesn't understand the details and why, but what he knows that everything he goes out, he has to wear a mask. But what I recommend you is take a bunch of them, like a lot. Like I have 3 or more packages like this in my luggage, because he's gonna get frustrated, he's gonna break it, and he's gonna throw it away. And you don't wanna just, you know the rules in the airports, right? So it's very clear, if you don't wear a mask, you're going out of the plane, right? So just, I mean, they don't wait, they wait nothing. Like just take as many as you want, right? And take extra cleaners with you just for your backpack, right? So again, a lot of recommendations, guys, but this is really important to prepare ahead, okay? Okay, guys, so everything is ready to go for tomorrow. Tomorrow is a big day. It's been a long day for me today to prepare everything. Prepare my son, Bruno, he's all set, ready to go. We pack just one bag. We are checking in one bag, right? So something that I want to recommend, I know it's impossible many times, right? But I would like you to consider, if you can, shipping your luggage ahead of time. I know it's very difficult, I know that, and expensive too, right? But if you want to save time checking in bags in the airport, and at the same time when you land, you don't want to wait into the carousel or whatever for your bags, you just go with your carry-on. That's a way faster process for your child, right? In this case, for my son. I'm gonna go just one bag anyways, just one for the two of us. So it's not that bad actually. So I mean, he's gonna stay there for almost 2 months. One bag for the two of us. This is, I mean, we are light, right? But anyways, so everything is ready to go. Just wanted to say that last recommendation for the bags. Let's see how it goes tomorrow. So everything is ready to go. So see you guys tomorrow, and I will continue linking all these videos for tomorrow's adventure, right? So good night. Bye. Good morning. Well, today is the day, right? So Bruno had breakfast already and everything is going fine. It's a matter of 2-3 hours and we are going to the airport. Just waiting time for a second, then I mean, for a little bit here, but then later on he's gonna have lunch and then wait a little bit. It's very important. Just one more recommendation, that you give enough space between these little events in this micro schedule for your travel, because these people with autism, right? So they don't understand like, hey, let's quickly eat and then immediately let's go out. It doesn't work that way for them, right? So you just need to give them enough space between events like let's have breakfast, now go have time, and then just relax a little bit, then go back and have lunch, and then relax and then go. So it has to go step by step whenever you can do it, right? So talking about the way to the airport, so I wanna talk right now in terms of how to communicate the word that you are traveling with somebody with autism, because you need everybody's help. So you can manage any kind of situation, right? Or you will try to manage because you are the parent, but you need help, right? So you might need help as much as you need, because these conditions are not simple, right? So to do that, so I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna wear this, right? And then I'm gonna wear my mask, which is also a message, right? I'm gonna wear this mask like this. Okay, so hopefully with this mask and my t-shirt, right, it's message enough to tell people what's going on with this situation with me and my son, right? Because there are two types of people out there, right? So this is very, very serious and important, guy, right? Because you're about to expose your son, your child there with a lot of people that you don't know. You don't know how they are doing. You know their emotions. Probably some of them are happy, some of them are coming from a funeral, or any kind of emotion they are going, right? And you have to respect that also. But they have to also understand what's going on with you if they happen to run by you, right? So there are people, two types of people, right? So they need to be aware of what's going on with a simple message like this, or they, as soon as they see my son behavior, right? So people that is already related with somebody in their family with autism, they immediately understand, right? But then there are people that unfortunately they need to be educated, or they need to be told of what's going on. Like, hey, I'm just telling you this is my situation, and just for you to understand, if my son is bothering you with the noise or whatever, I apologize, whatever. Just explain people as many times as you can, as you need, right? Sometimes people will take it very well, sometimes they will not. So we just need to be patient, because you are the parent. So very important, you have to maintain the calm, right? So you have to be mentally prepared as well. So this is together, this is a team. So it's not just your son, it's you, because you have to be the person in charge of this, right? So nobody's gonna take control of what's going on in this trip, it's you, right? So you have to be in control of yourself, because if your child realizes that you are desperate, you are, not in control in your emotions, you're gonna pass that on him or her, right? So you have to maintain control. That's very important. If you are not that parent right now with a special needs kid, don't travel, don't go yourself, right? So don't risk it, right? So you don't have to risk the situation in this way. Invite somebody that can go with you and help you, because you're gonna need, again, as much help as you need. And if you just want to go without all these recommendations or knowledge or whatever, it's gonna be a tough situation for sure. You will learn in the end, but that's gonna end up in a very, very serious and delicate situation as you're gonna go, right? So last part, so what's my son going to dress? So let them dress whatever they want to dress, right? So this is not the time to tell them, hey, we are traveling, this is the clothes you need to use to travel. Doesn't matter, doesn't work for them. It doesn't work in that way. Let them choose whatever they want to wear, whatever they feel comfortable. The best way they feel comfortable, that's the best, success for this, right? So because you have to take that out of the way of your concern. So let them choose. So I'm very sure, and that he's upstairs right now, but I'm very sure when the moment I tell him we are leaving, he's gonna choose one of his favorite species because he loves cats. And I'm very sure, and this is really interesting, guys. So he's gonna pick his favorite jacket, right? Here is Texas, right? So Texas, we are almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 95 today, something, right? So 34 Celsius, or probably almost 40 in Fahrenheit, in Celsius when we go above 100, right? So it's very hot, right? So it's warm. He doesn't matter. I mean, he doesn't care. He wants that jacket because that makes him feel comfortable and safe. This is something that also people around autism world will understand. So, and even when you tell him, hey, it's so hot out there, it's so warm, are you sure? They don't care. They just want that something that is gonna make them feel better and safe. So let them use whatever they wanna use, even if it doesn't go with the season, if it doesn't go with the time, the temperature, it doesn't matter, right? So just don't fight that battle because they like it and they feel comfortable, right? So, and that's another check for you because you're accumulating points to just go into this travel where they need a lot of help. So you need help, they need help. So that part, the clothes, let them do whatever they want to do, okay? So I mean, if he wants to go like no shirt on top, like a topless, right? Or whatever, no pants, that's impossible, right? So that's difficult. This is something, yes, spend that energy to fight with him or with her saying, you can't do that. You have to wear something. Yeah, that part is okay, right? But when it comes to choose colors, whatever, let them do whatever. How many crazy people you see out there, like, what is going on with this person in the way they dress, right? Let them do whatever, right? So what's going on, right? Okay, so come back. So one more thing about communicating to people what's going on with your situation while you are traveling with a child with autism. As I mentioned earlier, people need to be aware, and some people need to be just told or educated in a way that you are not disrespectful, and because again, you don't know everybody's life, so something might be going on also, and it's a hard time for them to whatever, right? But if there is a situation where you're gonna feel these people looking at you, right, saying, hey, what's going on here? Why this dad is not talking and is not teaching some discipline to this guy here, to this little boy, so he needs to behave or whatever. So the moment you see that people don't understand exactly what's going on, they don't even know, they have no clue what autism is probably, or probably they do, but they just haven't seen it so close to them. So you can offer them a card like this. I'm gonna put it here for you, right? So this card basically is explaining what's going on quickly, because sometimes you don't even have the time to explain everybody, right? So you just nicely, in a friendly way, polite, right? So give this card to them. Actually in the reverse, there is a Spanish version. How cool is that, right? But this card, I'm gonna put the version in Spanish, right? So you guys can see, okay? So this card many times have been working for us, right? So this card immediately tells people that, and you wouldn't imagine how fast is the switch and the change in the behavior and the response from that people. If actually sometimes they even apologize to you saying, hey, I didn't know, I am sorry. So then we're good here, right? So, but simple explanations like this, if you are not this quick talker or whatever, just give this card to them so they will understand, right? So it's another tip, guys. So it helps a lot, even if you are inside the airplane. You're not gonna go and explain to everybody, right? So you can just give these cards away to everybody, to the ones around of you, saying, hey, I'm sorry, my son is kicking your seat in front of you, right? So the guys in front of you, hey, I got this situation, just so you are aware, right? And then immediately understand, right? So just one more tip, so keep that in consideration too. Hi. Hey, I just want to say something else here about the schedule, because the schedule, I mean, the day that you travel, you have to be very, very clear in your schedule, like a micro schedule by hour, right? So what time you leave, what time you wake up, everything, because here is what's going on here. So the international flights, normally they recommend you 3 hours to be ahead of time in the airport to do all your documentation stuff, your security point, finding your gate, whatever, right? But it's difficult for our situation, right? So people and child with special needs, they don't know how to wait too long, right? So it's 3 hours waiting or 3 hours of process, and not even that. So the moment you leave your house, go to the airport, then 3 hours at the airport, then you fly 2 hours and a half more. Then when you get to your final destination, it's probably an 8 hours adventure, right? So it's tough for them. So try to minimize that time. So in this case, for example, so we are taking an Uber, right? The Uber, they normally are fast, right? So there is no time for your car to drive your car and park and then walk, so it doesn't work that way. So try to take Uber, or somebody can just drop you off there at the airport, right? So one thing. But the other thing is, you don't want to get too early, like I mentioned, with the 3 hours, because we all know, all frequent travelers as I am, we know that 3 hours is a way more than enough. When you know the airport, when you know the business, right? So when you know all the operations in the airport, some airports, they do take a lot of time, right? I don't take that wrong, but some airports, they are easy, right? So it's not that complicated. So because we have been traveling quite a few times, so I am going to choose to just get to the airport almost 2 hours before the flight. It's actually an hour and 45 minutes before the flight. So we have a priority status in the airline we are taking. So I don't want to get to the airport 3 hours earlier, because it's going to kill my son's patience, and I want to keep as small as I can that window of time of waiting inside the airport. So my plan is to do the security point check, I mean the back check, and then the security point, and just be waiting probably less than an hour at the gate, so where my son might be able to manage fine. Okay, so just take that as well. So timing, when you get to the airport, if you get it with the 3 hours, it's difficult to manage for them. So just one more thing to consider. Okay, I promised 2 last comments before we get into this role going on, and I will be posting and I will be taking videos as we go as much as I can, right? Because my son doesn't allow me to do too many phone picture video thing. The moment he realizes I'm doing this, he's gonna go, no, take that down, okay? But I'm gonna try. So I'm gonna go quiet probably on the videos I'm gonna be making or taking. You will probably see me just lowering my voice a little bit, or not talking too much, because he doesn't like the noise. Again, he doesn't want me to go crazy, so I'm gonna keep it down. So just be patient for that too, right? But so one thing I want to mention is that just be ready for the moment that you are leaving your house. Your child might come up with this idea, oh, I need my last toy, I need my favorite toy, I can't travel without it. So you have to be patient, and you have to allow your son, your child, to go get that toy or whatever the thing is, to make them feel comfortable again, right? So they have to feel comfortable in what they are doing and convinced. And sometimes these little things, they help them to feel better. So let them go get whatever they want to get. But then if it's something heavy, or it's something that you need room in your bag, in your carry-on, whatever, so the recommendation is never pack all full with no more space, because something like this at the last second, last minute, is gonna pop up in the plan. So be prepared for some room in your luggage, and you can, as long as you tell your child, hey, yeah, that's fine, I'm gonna put it in your luggage, there you go, you're good to go. So or if you can take it into your carry-on, better, but just consider that too, because this is always typical with this type of people, right? So they come up with the latest and last minute idea, hey, I need to bring this. That wasn't in the plan, but okay, bring it on, right? So just consider that into the timing and also space, because sometimes they may take time to decide what they want to bring at the last minute, right? Okay. Okay, very, very close to leave. So the clock behind me right here is showing 11 a.m. o'clock. So we are leaving at 12. So in an hour from now, this is the moment of the truth, right? So we are getting so close. So something I forgot to mention in my previous videos when I was explaining the way to pack and the activities and items to ensure you have inside your luggage. We have the luggage here on the backpack and everything. So remember that whiteboard that I was using for my son to drive the schedule right here. It was posted here on the door. So that whiteboard is already inside my bag, right there. So why? Because you're gonna need it in the way back. So as soon as you land, so everything is great, right? So you made it, but now you need to start counting down again in reverse the days when you come back, because it's the same thing. You are gonna take a flight in the way back home. So don't forget your schedule, because the schedule is the way to drive them. So you manage your time, your calendars, your phones, whatever. They don't. So they need something familiar. So don't forget the schedule. The whiteboard can go with you, and you need to make the effort to take it wherever you go.